Great stuff. I mean, the energy from the weekend is still, how do I put it now? I think it's still overflowing, rubbed off. And it feels like today's still a weekend because right here it's public holiday. Sports enthusiasts, fans, and pundits, welcome to SOUQ Sports. It's Monday, but it feels like Friday or Saturday. I don't know what it is for you. Well, the weekend had loads of exciting moments in the NPFL, the La Liga, the Serie A, the Bundesliga, Ligue, and of course the EPL. But Liverpool walked alone. Now, in the next 45 minutes, the show will take you around the world of sports. I am Top Cat, Tici, Barrah, and with me is the usual suspect, Kelvin Ojiefa, the noblest of them all. Glad to be with you on set. It's been like a minute. I mean, where have you been?
I've been around, you know. I just have to chill to see some of this game.
Yeah.
So that I can actually talk in person.
Really?
About it, yes.
Okay.
Now, you said something. You said Liverpool walked alone. Do you think they walked alone? I think the Forest decided to build the tree that was planted 57 years ago. The tree that was planted 57 just started germinating this year.
Really?
Yeah, it was really surprising at Anfield. So the fortress was actually broken down by the Foresters.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that in details. Let's start off from the NPFL. Match day 2 recorded 3 wins out of 7 games played across various match centers in the country. And one of the most talked about NPFL match day 2 game was the match between Rivers United and Heartland. Now, why was this talked about so much? It was a great game. It attracted a lot of attention because of the coaches who, you know, are managing these teams. So it feels like a Pep Guardiola, Mikel Arteta kind of scenario. But then it was Finidi George and Amuneke who were on the scale, who were on this balance. So Finidi's Rivers United beat Amuneke's Heartland 3-1 in that game on Saturday. Let's let you know that Finidi and Amuneke have worked together at various stages. And of course, Finidi's boy, Olanraju, also beat Heartland, leading Eyimba. I think it was 3-0. And so almost by the same margin, the same margin, 3-1, 3-1. Heartland finding the back of the net once. Sadly for Amuneke, he has posted 2 losses in the NPFL current season against a grandson and somewhat of a son. I don't know how to describe it, but I mean, if you had to go with it that way, what do you think about his baptism of fire in the NPFL?
What you say? It's
water baptism and baptism of fire.
Oh. Man, this one is losing. When you start the league poorly, it affects you before the end of the season. Then for someone like Amuneke, Finidi, now like you said, let's take the case of Pep and Mikel Arteta. Now, when you learn from the best, you want to. You can't see a case where you see Arteta beating Pep. It's very difficult because, in as much as the master tries to teach you some certainty, teach you what he knows, he definitely will still hide some from you. He teaches you what he wants you to know, not all.
Some school of thought, some might not completely agree that Finidi is below Manuel Amuneke, or vice versa. Some persons believe that they are just, you know, 2 different great individuals with different strengths. Emmanuel Amuneke had been national team coach, likewise Finidi at some point.
Finidi was just a month.
But he's been under, he was under Josep Pesero, you know, worked with him a long time. And as such, that national team exposure would have been the basis of comparison. These guys are no longer league coaches. They've graduated, they've been there, done that, and of course, there's a lot of attention. But if you had to place them side by side, there was a lot of expectation from Emmanuel Amuneke owing to what he's achieved, you know, his antecedents. Finidi, no doubt, I think he won the NPFL 2 seasons ago. Before anybody just won now, and he finished second. You know, so I think he's had his own baptism of fire in the NPFL, right? And it's just now that he went into the national team in space, and then. But for Heartland struggled last season. They were relegated, but were able to get back into the NPFL with a drop of Beyond Limit FC. And a change in guard, one would have expected, would have turned the fortunes of the team. But that's not been the case in the first 2 matches. And if you say you need to give him time to settle in, how long would that take? We've seen Heartland also get some great players. We've seen, I think it was a move for Mboma from Aimba to even Heartland, But then that has not even sharpened things enough for them to give them a fighting chance in the NPFL. And once you continue posting draws, whether, I beg your pardon, losses, whether it's home, whether it's away, it doesn't just spell good for you, because all of these have to go into accumulation of points, goal differences and all that. They matter. And so even if you're losing, why don't you reduce the deficit to probably a goal difference? So, when it matters a lot, it might, count in your favor.
In as much as we actually criticize coaches for losing in the beginning of the season, but I think since he got a lot of players during the transfer window, and so it's just trying to blend for them to get together, because we've seen cases where a team start poorly, but at the end of the season you see them in a better position. Like when let me make reference to this Premier League coach Erik ten Hag. When he came to Manchester United first, he lost his first 2 games. When he lost the game, and at that time people were saying that, is this the right man for the job? But at the end of the season, he was among the top 4. He gave the club a trophy. So I think we should still give this guy a chance, give him some chance, but
and see how it goes.
And secondly, even if you can be like 10 goals deficit, but if you get between the point and the goals, which is more important, the point. 1 goal, 3 points, 10 goals, 3 points. So what's the difference? So basically,
there's sometimes it might matter instead of accumulating
for ties. I totally understand that, but the winning matters more.
Anyway, so some of the score lines from the NPFL match day are Rivers United, like I mentioned, beating Heartland 3-1. Remo continuing the winning streak this time around in Ikene. They beat Sunshine Stars by a lone goal. That was a very interesting fixture. On Sunday, a lot of drama played out. Aqua United against Abia Warriors. Abia Warriors had gone to the Nest of Champions, picked up an early goal, much talked about early goal, and then a late penalty for the promise keepers in the wee hours of the game gave them, 1 goal. And they were able to get 1 point for that game. 2, some school of thought believe that it's not supposed to be a penalty. Some other persons argue that it was clear chance for Aqua United to restore parity, owing to the fact that they felt the referee was right on call. But then that has sparked up a conversation on social media space. Was the referee right or not? The issue of VAR in the NPFL, and a whole lot of talk that has to do with AI and, of course, technological advancement in the NPFL. But then we're not watching these games live. We're not able to follow these games, as we're on the go. So when would we even get to the stage of goal line technology and even VAR?
If we
had live broadcast,
you could
have replays.
You understand? So before we get to move to that point of using VAR, let's the country knows that our league is going on. Let our local channels know that our league is going on. Let there be a dedicated local channel that can really show some of these games. Let there be a media house who is in charge of who will definitely be around all the time that a game is going on. You understand? So when we start paying attention to things like that, because I'm very sure that a lot of people still don't know that our league competition has started. People are still focusing on the Premier League, the Spanish League, the La Liga, and the rest. Our league has started. But compared to, I can say there's a little improvement compared to some years back. Now, at least when you go online, you can see the lineup of some of these players. They tell you who scores, unlike before. They tell you the next fixture, they tell you when they show you the table as well, unlike before. So I think creation of awareness about our league, that's the major thing we should focus on first before we talk about introducing VAR.
Well, some fixtures were rescheduled for Wednesday, the 25th of September, and that's due to continental engagements for Eyimba International and Enugu Rangers. And this weekend, some other games were possible. Let me let you know that Eyimba will play host to Lobby Stars on 4 p.m. on Wednesday. Ikorodu City at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena will take on the Flying Antelopes. Rest assured that we'll be bringing you some clips of that game because we're going to be right there. Now, match day 2 fixture involving El Kanemi Warriors and Kwara United has been postponed indefinitely. That's due to the flood disaster in Borno State, which is the host state of El Kanemi. Our hearts out to them, and we're hoping that somehow they're able to find a way to resolve the issues they've experienced. Of course, it's a natural disaster, but then some persons are better prepared and how do we say it? Provisions are made to cater for people who find themselves in that situation. All right, so our heart goes out to the people of Brunu and find SOUQ find a way to be happy. Rangers technical advisor Fidelis Ilechukwu is expressing confidence in his team's ability, and that's to replicate their success in the return leg against Sagrada Esperança in Angola. Now they secured a 1-0 victory over the team in the first leg of the CAF Champions League, which is the second preliminary round tie in Uyo on Friday, just before the weekend. Now, after the game, Rangers coach Ilechukwu acknowledged the capabilities of the opposing team, that they're good, but remained optimistic about his team's prospects in the upcoming match, which is going down in Luanda, Angola. He also went out to, highlight the need for his players to take advantage, capitalize on the scoring opportunities, that they create, but then expressed the importance of maintaining a positive environment for the team. They are scheduled to travel to Luanda for the return leg, which is at the November Stadium, and that game will be going down on Sunday, September the 22nd. Well, we're looking forward to how that one will go down. We're rooting for Enugu Rangers, but first they have to come to Ikorodu, come to Mobile Johnson Arena, take on Ikorodu, and hopefully we'll catch up with Fidelis Ilechukwu and take his thoughts on how he plans to strategically, face the team. So we'll see how that goes. So we'll cross the ocean from Africa to Europe. In the 5 Premier League games played simultaneously from 3 p.m. to around 5 p.m., 2 wins were recorded across match venues. That was on Saturday. Now, after a win over Manchester United before the international break at the Anfield Stadium, Nottingham Forest pulled off a stunning, surprising, mind-blowing upset. And they stunned Arsenal's Slot's perfect start with the Reds. Now, Callum Hudson-Odoi's remarkable goal did secure the win, marking Forest's first victory at Liverpool in any competition since 1969. Were you born then? Were you born then? You could imagine how many years that would have been.
History upon history.
Manchester City showcased their strength by coming back from an early setback to secure a victory against Brentford. 2-1 it ended. That could have been a major upset as well. Erling Haaland, impressive as ever, consistent as ever, put up a performance, scoring 2 goals that helped maintain the noisy neighbours' 100% record in the Premier League. At Selhurst Park, we saw Crystal Palace fight back from being 2 goals down to secure a 2-2 draw, palatable, against Leicester City. I didn't see that one coming. Jean-Philippe Mateta's stoppage time penalty leveled the score, and the result allows Palace to avoid a 3rd Premier League defeat this campaign. Well, at the Craven Cottage, West Ham secured a point against Fulham with a late goal from Danny Ings, preventing a 2nd consecutive defeat for them. Ings' timely goal that came showcased the team's fighting spirit, and then there was a determination to grab points even in the dying moments of the game, but the match ended 1-1, a draw finally. At the Flower Stadium, newly promoted Ipswich Town are yet to win a Premier League game this season. But then, 1 point, not so bad. A draw at the hands of unbeaten Brighton. And Manchester United, who had gone into the game with his manager, Eric Ten Hag, unsure of his job, were able to beat Southampton 3-0 at St Mary's Stadium. Guy.
It was a
which
bouncing.
one mad you?
Very bouncing and a very funny weekend. So let's start from the Manchester United game first.
That's a shock. Liverpool first.
Okay, let's start with Liverpool game first. Let's start with Liverpool game
because
first.
me, I was like, eh?
No, it was Liverpool had more of the created more chances. They had more of the game, the possession, they took it. But Forest were determined. I think they had a game plan before they came in.
Okay.
They understand Liverpool's strategy. They know the part. I think they understand the pattern of this new coach. So they had the strategy. We all defend, then few of us attack, and that was the strategy they've been using. And they had. You see, this is the power of having a good substitute. Now, if you remove a weaker foot, remove someone that has been disturbing in the forward, and you replace him with someone who has more fire than him, it's going to be a threat. It's going to be a disaster to your opponent. So that was the strategy they used, and they actually worked very well for them. But no one saw Liverpool losing that game. If he had, we will make it will be draw. But one thing we need to understand is that after each international break, if you see the game during the weekend, almost all the big teams struggled because their key players went for international break. They played. Some even had injury.
Did you see Arsenal struggling?
You understand? I saw the game. I was like, is this the same Arsenal we were talking about? Is this the same Arsenal we were?
But they were able to beat Tottenham Hotspur by a low goal.
It was a narrow escape.
So I was last week. Last week I had Akata, the attacker, on the show, and I had mentioned that particular game. He was quite sentimental about it. I kept insisting that Arsenal were going to beat Tottenham Hotspur, and in as much as he did not believe, he felt because of the absence and the injury of all of the players, it felt really good, crazy that they were unable to get a win over Arsenal at their weakest point.
If you see that game, man, the game was actually in favor of, not really in favor. The game, Tottenham had more chances. Tottenham played more. Tottenham played better than Arsenal. But immediately the goal came in. Everything changed. Because I was watching the game. I was like, it's going to be very difficult for for Arsenal to win this game because first of all, one of their key midfielder, Rice, is not there. Then Odegaard, who is actually one of the best players in Arsenal as we speak. When he calls Odegaard, then you can call Saka. For me, my opinion.
So, but then doesn't this tell you that the Arsenal team seems to have gotten some level of stability?
No, we know that they're actually one of the best teams in the Premier League.
Yeah.
After Man City, Arsenal is actually.
Why Man City first? Because they won the league.
Not because they won the league. We know them. I think Pep has actually created a team created a pattern that if any new coach comes in and follows the same pattern, you definitely do well.
So in comparison, you believe that Manchester City is better than Arsenal?
Yeah,
on what grounds?
No,
goal scoring, winning the league?
Winning the league, the winning mentality, goal scoring.
Let's bring Manchester City on. Let's bring them on. Let's put them under the scope now. Okay. Manchester City are facing litigations.
Oh, true.
A lawsuit which is going to last a very long time, and of course some of this as a result of breaches, and all that. And of course the body, FI, and of course the organizers are saying Manchester City has refused to cooperate with them. Now, how do you think this is going to spell out if we had to use the Igbo language, Ovohi? If it's thrown open, if it gets to be blown open, how do you think it's going to pan out eventually for them?
We saw what happened to Everton last season when 10 points was deducted from them. They struggled to fight their way out of relegation, relegation zone. But for this, my question is, what was the Premier League? What have they been doing? From bridge one, they lock up to go to.
So here's what it is.
This thing has been accumulating.
Here's what it is. You know that the Premier League is a body, and Manchester City is a club, an organization, illegal organization. So you can't hold one person. You're going to be holding or fining the club, not one person, not one man, not a player in this case. Yes. And as such, you have also legal representation for this club. And at this point in time, they could actually be coming up with moves to see if they can stall, frustrate, elongate, or even throw out of the window whatever issues that they have. So you don't just expect that you come with litigations and you put it to an organization. They wouldn't want to find a way around it. So the law is the law, but some people are able to find some loopholes when it comes to certain issues regarding rules, regulations, and then you have certain reservations. And so I'm saying, don't come to the studio without your shoes.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. And then you come and you're looking for a loophole. Okay, so you didn't come without shoes, but you came with slippers.
At least I was something.
Do you understand? And so you're trying to argue. You're trying to put it, and it's like a simple issue, but then people now find ways to pick a hole so that it favors them eventually. And that's in response to you saying, why has this dragged so long? So if all of those things were put into consideration, would you then say that Manchester City is still the best team in the English Premier League?
I think you are putting me on the spot.
His argument.
Okay. I would still say they are the best team because I know there are some times where we've seen games where the ref might be biased just to support Man City. We've seen games like that. We've judged them like that. But when it comes to the team is well structured. The players are well bonded. They understand themselves. They understood themselves very well. That Kelvin can actually hold the ball and know that Haaland is there. He's going to stone the ball to him. You saw what Edison do. A goalkeeper throwing pass, making an assist for the fourth time. For the fourth time in the Premier League, fourth time for a goalkeeper making an assist. So I think I would still say they are actually one of the best because I would say it's very difficult for a club, a team, though it might look like a little team, Brentford, to score you in first 20 seconds of the game, and you came from behind. Just one man.
So what if you take that man out of the equation? You take him off the chessboard.
That's where the issue comes in. That's where we'll know if they are still very strong. Because for now, they have just one striker, which is Haaland. Alvarez has left. There's no other backup striker. So definitely, but I know even if you take Haaland out, Pep is a very smart coach and a very good coach for that matter. He'll find a way.
There was a time Manchester City, almost all the players were, free scoring.
When they had no striker then.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, that even if you take Haaland out, he's definitely going to find a way around it. He's definitely going to find a way around it. He's a good coach and he's a great coach.
Let's pedal on this and move over to the Liga, where Barcelona stay top of the standings in Spain as Yamal scored twice in a dominant first half. Great stuff, for the La Liga. Taking a look at Barcelona's performance after that game, Dani Olmo and Pedri also found the net before former Manchester City winger Ferran Torres, who had only been on the pitch for 17 minutes, was shown a red card for a very heavy challenge on Yasser Asprilla. Real Madrid are 4 points behind after a 2-0 win at Real Sociedad. They secured that win. Second half penalties by Vinicius Jr. and Kylian Mbappe. Felt like that was done and dusted when we talked about it on Friday. Real boss Carlo Ancelotti says the side were not dominant enough to deserve the win despite being without midfielders Jude Bellingham, Eduardo Camavinga, Dani Ceballos, and Aurelien Tchouameni. England midfielder Conor Gallagher and former Manchester City forward Julian Alvarez scored their very first goals for Atletico Madrid as they beat Valencia 3-0. Which of them do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about the Real Madrid game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sociedad wasn't a big deal for them.
Yes, but Madrid is not the Madrid. This Madrid is not the Madrid we know last season.
I talked about this as well with Akata, and I'm like, yes, these guys did not perform, but he was so certain that Vinicius would come with the goods owing to the fact that it's Real Madrid. We saw the game when Brazil played during the international break. He wasn't in the party. They didn't even do well.
Madrid are not really, they've not really blended very well. I don't know.
Kylian Mbappe, you said would have added some firepower.
That was what we were expecting. He's a young man. He's very good. I think Mbappe and Junior Vinicius, I think they are fighting for
the spotlight.
The spotlight.
Can you be sure? I think that's like in your head.
No. Because these guys are not stable. This game they played, I was like, I think that should be the last game. They won 3-0.
Okay.
They won 3-0. These guys have been. Mbappe Junior has been in the game for a very long time. No goal, just one goal. The minute they make the changes, they introduce Hendrick and I think what's this name of this other young boy? Ibrahim.
Okay.
Immediately they introduced both of them. They added 2 goals to it in less than 5 minutes. These 2 young stars, but these well-known stars that we know already, these guys are they're just struggling. I think if you actually want the Madrid team to be the Madrid like we know last season, start either Mbappe and bench Junior, or start Junior and bench.
You think 2 of them have the same playing styles?
They have this. They play from the same wing.
You can have them switch.
That's difficult. Mbappe is more comfortable when it goes to the right. Junior is more comfortable.
Plays in the left.
When it goes to the left, Junior is more comfortable when it goes to the left as well. Sometimes even when they try to switch, before Mbappe stays in the middle for 5 seconds, he's tired. He finds a way to go back to that position again. Even if Junior comes to that same position, before he stays there for 5 seconds,
so they'll be able to find a way to put them in a perfect place.
Let's see what happens. And secondly, Jude has not been around. This injury is actually an issue also. But it's better you have your injury in the beginning of the season than when it is getting hot.
Well, hopefully, Carlo Ancelotti has his work cut out for him. We'll be able to find a way around it. That's the most important thing. Romelu Lukaku made 2 and scored another as Napoli went to the top of the Serie A with an impressive 4-0 win at Cagliari. Premier League exports court Mark Tommy and Billy Gilmore book him on as late substitutes for the debut as Antonio Conte's side made it 3 wins from 4. Now, let's talk about that before we move on. Is this a resurgent Napoli without Victor Osimhen? Is Romelu Lukaku the key to the floodgates of goals?
We all know that Lukaku is a good goal scorer. He has played for all the clubs that he has played in, he scored goals. He's a strong striker, though he is one-footed, but he's a very strong striker who fights for ball, who holds the ball, who makes passes. He's not a selfish player who makes passes. So coming to a club like Napoli, it's going to be an easy one for him to definitely score more goals.
Antonio Conte has worked with him a couple of times. So
he knows him. He knows that this guy is someone we actually need. He knows that if we are losing a strong striker like Osimhen, we need another strong striker to replace him. Don't just bring anybody to come and replace someone like Osimhen, and he's banging goals for them.
Well, former Arsenal and Barcelona midfielder Cesc Fabregas was left frustrated after seeing a first Serie A win as head coach slipped through his fingers. Now, newly promoted Serie A side Como did squander a 2-goal lead and settled for a draw. 2-2 ended against Bologna on Saturday. An early own goal by Nicolo Casale and a second half finish by Patrick Coturn from the edge of the box put them in control. Cruise control. But then, late strikes by Santiago Castro and Samuel Ling Jr. rescued the visitors. In the other match center, unbeaten Juventus were held to a goalless draw at Empoli, but new AC Milan coach Paolo Fonseca got his first Serie A win in style as 4 goals from the first half-hour mark saw them thrash Venezia 4-0. 2 quick penalties from former Chelsea duo Christian Pulisic and Tammy Abraham sealed the win. And champions Inter missed the chance to go on top of the grid. But we talked about this with Akata the attacker. If Inter should slip for a minute, there's going to be a change of guard at the top of the table. And it feels like, it was 9 points, 7 points, and that has changed a little bit after they drew against Monza. What do you make out of the Serie A?
So when it comes to the Serie A, first of all, let me talk about Fabregas. Now, I've said it before that the fact that you're a good player doesn't make you a good coach. You understand?
I can't help but concur.
We've seen coaches, we've seen players who were extremely good in their playing time, but when they become coach, they had nothing. So
there's a selling question that has been bugging me. The coaches actually, are they able to influence the outcome of a match? Right, you tell your players, you strategize, you go in. Some persons have said some of the changes the coaches make in strategy. I do not understand the concept.
Okay, as a coach, you are like the driver. The players are behind you.
Yeah.
You've told them this is where we are going to. This is what you do. This is what. If a player disobeys you, you have the right to change that player because you have a game plan already. You guys have a strategy. You are working according to a plan. So if
which
a player
is probably get the ball to this person, play from the wings, make sure that you leave the center open.
If it's time to attack, we all attack. If it's time to defend, we all defend. So if a player goes against your rules, you have the right to actually drop that player. So by the time you as a coach, you are being calm or being too kind to a player that is not giving you result, following your instructions. We've seen because if a club loses, who will they call first? The coach.
Yeah.
If a club wins, who will they call first? The coach. Even before you start blaming players, you blame the coach. Coach is this, coach is that, coach is, especially when you are just starting as a fresh coach for that. So everything boils down to what your coach says. So even if you play, even you as a player decided to make some decisions on your own inside the pitch, inside the game, and it works out fine for you, the praise still goes to the coach. But if it doesn't, it goes to the coach as well. So as a coach has the
box stops on his
everything on his palm. So if it goes against the coach, it's better you. So I feel sorry from two goals.
2 goals.
Up to, come on.
Crazy. So we'll cross from the Italian Serie A to the German Bundesliga, where Bayern Munich went top of the Bundesliga with a 6-1. 6-1 demolition of hosting Kelvin. And that was on Saturday. Kane scored twice for England last week. He bagged a hat-trick against the newly promoted side. And for them, it was a way to welcome them to the Bundesliga. Now, Bayern holds on the Bundesliga, was broken last season when Bayer Leverkusen won the title in a record-breaking undefeated run. So champions Leverkusen over the weekend bounced back from defeat by RB Leipzig fortnight ago with a commanding 4-1 victory over Hoffenheim. So the race is on, the league seems open, the two teams, biggest teams there, having very small enemies to deal with. And don't you think those teams are not a true test of their mettle and strength?
So are you talking about the younger team?
No, Bayer Leverkusen facing Hoffenheim and Bayern Munich taking on the newly promoted side. They are not a strong test for them.
It's going to be a win for both big teams. Like I told my friend yesterday that I just want to directly to the Premier League, but the Premier League makes the team that are newly promoted look stupid. The same thing happened last season. Yeah. I'm sorry. So last season, the 3 teams that was promoted went back. They came the way they came with the energy, the vibes, and the fight. Imagine you just come into a new place and okay, even if I lose my first game, I might win the second one. Yeah. Then you play your first game, you lost like 2-0. You play the second one, you lost like 3-0. You play the first one, they give you like 5-1. Come on. So most time the bigger team makes the newly promoted team looks as if they are just, you guys are just joking. So it's going to be a win-win for both big teams.
Well, Ousmane Dembele scored twice at Paris Saint-Germain, came from a goal behind to beat Brest 3-1 and continued a perfect start to the Ligue season. They took a shock lead, talking about Brest, against the champions when Romain de Castillo converted from the penalty spot after Nuno Mendes fouled Ludovic in the area. But Dembele, who tormented the team throughout on the night, ensured that the teams were level when they went into the break. He nodded home Marco Asensio's cross. So 2 goals in 2 minutes in the second half proved the difference for PSG, with Fabian Ruiz putting the host ahead with a superb strike from the distance, which he rifled into the top corner. I mean, just like that. Dembele then doubled the advantage a minute later, following up with Randal Kolo's Muani effort, which was blocked. I mean, great stuff coming from that particular angle. We'll take a moment now. When we return, we'll take you, to all the sporting activities that happened over the weekend right here on SOUQ Sports. Don't move a muscle. It is the home run right here on SOUQ Sports as we wind up. But then let's take you to the world of tennis, ping pong, as British number 4, Sinead Qatar, held off the nerves to clinch the maiden WTA title with victory over Slovakia's Rebecca Sramakova. And that's the Jasmine Open final in Africa, North Africa, Tunisia. The 22-year-old won 6-3, 7-5 and moved into the world's top 100 for the first time. After dominating her higher-ranked opponent in the middle of the match, Qatar lost 3 consecutive service games with success inside before eventually settling herself to serve it out. Sramakova, number 136 in the world, fired long for 39th and forced error of the match to hand the Briton her landmark victory on the first of 2 championship points. So elsewhere, we saw Britain's Jacob Fernley, who's 23, win his 3rd title in 4 months on the Challenger Tour, beating 27-year-old Frenchman Quentin Halys. Lost the first set, took the second and the third in Rennes. He is expected to rise to 129 in the world, up 396 places since graduating from Texas Christian University in May. Hector Watson beat Jia Jinglu in the opening round of the Korea Open. Watson, who came through 2 rounds of qualifying, won 6-4, 6-4 against China's Liu. The 32-year-old broke Liu to take the opening set, and a further break in the second set sealed what some persons have described as a comfortable victory in Seoul. It's only the 3rd time Watson, who is 183rd in the world, has won a main draw match this season, and she will face either Ukrainian 5th seed Marta Kostyuk or Arantxa Rus of the Netherlands in round 2. So from tennis, let's move to boxing. Promoter Aired in Hand says the long-awaited heavyweight bout between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury must definitely take place at the end of 2025. I was hoping 2024, but it feels like it's going to take almost a year for us to see that fight happen. Well, he says if it doesn't take place at the end of 25, the fight will never happen. So a super fight between the 2 generational stars has been mooted for several years, but always stalled due to negotiations. Joshua is 34. He's challenging Daniel Dubois for the IBF belt at Wembley this Saturday. Fury is 36. He takes on Alexander Usyk, who holds the 3 other recognized world titles in December's rematch. Now, the size of the fight depends on the next 2 results, according to Hearn. Now, in June, Joshua urged Fury to fight him while both boxers are still fresh, but said he would not, sit around and wait for the British boxer. Now, when he was asked if there was a deadline of next year's, he said yes, definitely. And of course, with substantial investment in boxing from Saudi Arabia's money-spinning venture, there's hope that the bout will materialize finally. I don't know if you see that fight happening in 2025 and what you make out of that fight eventually. Joshua Fury.
2025 is still, I would say, like 4 months from now. But I think they just want to keep
guessing.
Not really guessing. I think it's just basically for the media to keep these 2 fights
relevant.
Yes, relevant. When you hear about a fight between Joshua and Fury, it's something that is going to make.
So keep brewing it.
Yeah. So let's just keep the media busy with this. Let them keep speculating, because let's even talk about Joshua's fight against Daniel. That should be our focus for now. Yeah. Let's leave 2025. Because according to what you just read now, to what you just said, their fight determine if these 2 guys are going to fight. Joshua's fight against Daniel and Fury fight against. I said it the other time that there's an outstanding fight between Fury and Usyk.
Yeah.
Dan we're not sure if it's going to happen, but Usyk actually wanted.
But then that's because of the belts that are involved and trying to see if they could.
And even if Joshua wins Daniel, he faces Usyk as well this same year. So how would they say?
However route that you want to go. But then Hearn is saying the immediate fight that both boxers have would determine how it's going to play out, if they're going to meet or not, and when. And definitely, as Kelvin has said, let's take the first step and then we'll start talking about leaping. So the immediate fights in front of both boxers, will be monitoring that to bring you up to speed. So still talking about Saudi Arabian money, the Live Golf 2024 has come and gone, and Spain's John Ram was crowned 2024 Live Golf individual champion after a victory in Chicago. He carded a final round 66 to finish on 11 under par and beat his compadre Sergio Garcia and title rival Joaquin Niemann by 3 shots. The 29-year-old's second victory in his past 3 Live events secured enough points to claim the season-long race for the $18 million individual prize. That's about 13.7 million pounds. Niemann had also won 2 events this year and was the only other player who could beat Ram in succeeding Taylor Gooch, who won last year's individual title. The Chilean led Ram after the opening round, but his disappointing 68 8 on Saturday saw him trail in the Spaniards by 3 going into Sunday's final. Neiman went round in a bogey-free 66 to maintain his challenge, but Ram, who hit an impressive birdie on the par 3 17th, showed his class, which is superb, to retain his 3-shot overnight lead and clinch victory at the Bolingbroke Golf Club. Now, following his 2 wins and 12 top 10 finishes, Ram also took home $16.7 million, which is about 12.75 million pounds in individual earnings during his debut year with Ligue. Ligue season will culminate with the team championship final going down in Dallas. Will run from the 20th to the 22nd of September. Money, money, money. What does it feel like? I mean, you now want to learn how to play golf.
When you hear Saudi Arabia, you know you're talking about money.
Yeah, oil money.
Oil money. We always say that these guys are making it look as if they are taking the value of the sports away. But come on, why are we involved if not for the cash and also the fun? But the cash comes first before the fun. Anyway,
Formula One, Lando Norris drove an extraordinary race to catch and pass title rival Max Verstappen as his McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri won an engrossing Azerbaijan Grand Prix. So the race ended under virtual safety car after a crash between Red Bull's Sergio Perez and Ferrari's Carlos Sainz, who collided while disputing third place with 2 laps to go. Piastri pulled off an audacious pass on Charles Leclerc, who had led from pole position, to take the lead shortly after both had made their only pit stop for fresh tires and held on for the rest of the race under very immense pressure from the Ferrari car. Norris fought back after his late pit stop, having started, from 15th position on the hard tire, while the leaders chose mediums to pass Verstappen with 3 laps left to go. Now, he took 4th place, promoted from 6th by the Perez-Sainz crash, one ahead of Verstappen, who has started 9 places ahead of the McLaren driver. The result now means that Norris, who also scored the point for fastest lap, reduced Verstappen's championship lead, and that's by 3 points on a day he would have started expecting to lose ground. Norris is 59 points behind Verstappen with 7 races to go and a maximum of 206 still very much available, and McLaren have taken the lead in the Constructors' Championship from Red Bull, taking a 20-point lead. Now we'll slow it down and see if we can pinpoint on our target with that, as Luke Littler comfortably beat Michael Smith 11-4 to claim his maiden World Series of Darts final title in Amsterdam. Now, the teenager recovered from losing the opening 2 legs to raise into a 7-3 lead by the interval. Now, Littler, who's only 17, picked up where he left off after returning the Oche and averaged 102.21 on his way to victory and an £80,000 prize fund. A lot of dough, baby. Yeah. Now, the Englishman also disposed of a home favorite, Michael van Gerwen, 11-4 in the semi-final. Littler, who began the day with a quarter-final victory over Chris Dove, secured his 3rd World Series title after previously winning in Bahrain and Poland this year. He also won the Premier League darts title in May, beating Luke Humphries, who is like our favorite right here when it comes to dart, to avenge his defeat in the final of the World Championship. Guy.
Just 17.
Hey.
Just 17.
It's the money that's making you say just 17.
Come on. Now, when we see things like this, we try to speak to
sports development. I get you, bro. Preach.
So we need to take this thing very, very serious. He's just 17, and he's not just making his family proud, he's making his country proud as well. Come on, if we have someone like 17 representing Nigeria in the world dart competition, it's a win for us. It's a pride to us as African and also as Nigerians, but we really need to work, do something about that. Very, very important, very, very important. Just 17.
Well, the National Youth Games is ongoing in Delta, and trust that in the next episode of the show will bring you up to speed with some of the sporting activities that have been concluded and some of the winners that have emerged. But let me let you know that France midfielder Adrien Rabiot has agreed a deal in principle to join Ligue 1 club Marseille. He has been a free agent since leaving Juventus, that was back then in July, and will move back to France, and that's subject to passing a medical. The 29-year-old, who has 48 caps, played 48 times for France, spent 5 years in Turin after leaving Paris Saint-Germain. That was in 2019. Rabiot, who has reportedly been a transfer target for Paris League clubs, including Manchester United, did have a brief spell at Manchester City Academy before he joined PSG. He has won the Serie A title, 2 Italian Cups, and of course, won Italian Super Cup at Juventus, and played 5 times at Euro 2024 in Germany, where France were knocked out by eventual winner Spain in the semi-final. What do you think about this move? Free agent? I mean, he's been out for a while.
It's good. It would be a bad one if no player actually make a move, if no club actually make a move for him. Yeah. So what happened to Osimhen? If he had missed that, imagine just staying in a club, you're not playing. For someone like him, he's not going to be in any club, just be at home training without even doing any, you understand? So it's a great move for a player like him. I wonder why no top English club actually went for someone like him. He's a fantastic player. It's just 28 can still give you like 3 years of his career to do something great. But it's a great move for him. He just needs to keep himself busy and for a better opportunity again.
We're wrapping things up, but then let's take a look at some business. Of course, we mentioned Manchester City's 115 charges for alleged breaches of the Premier League's financial rules begins today. City were charged and referred to an independent commission in February 2023, and that followed a 4-year investigation. And that's in response to Kelvin, who had talked about why this long. So it's alleged the City breached its financial rules between 2009 and 2018, and they strongly deny all of the charges and have said their case is supported by a comprehensive body of irrefutable evidence. And don't forget, Kelvin, these guys belong to a league association, so just like a club owners association in Nigeria and stuff. So the information covered club revenue, which includes sponsorship, income, and operating costs, and also they've been accused of not cooperating, like I tell you. Now, the hearing is expected to last around 10 weeks, which is 4 weeks make a month, 2 months and a half.
2 weeks.
2 months and a half.
Okay,
10 weeks, so 4 weeks in a month.
2 months and 2 weeks,
yeah. Meanwhile, City have won 8 league times, the league 8 times, yeah? You know, multiple cups and champions. So what happens, you know,
so they have to
after all that? So that's coming since their takeover by Abu Dhabi United Group.
Wow.
We'll have to go and review all of that.
What if adventure they find these guys guilty? So,
anytime the Arsenal finish second, they'll take it.
Take trophy. So the time Manchester United finish second, they have to give it to Manchester United.
Yes.
The time Liverpool took second,
they give it.
That's going to be very, very bloody.
Language.
Come on. Man.
What do you think about it? Then all of the money that had been passed on and stuff like that should be moving back to the next team. So there's just a lot of drama, but then it's going to take over 2 months, like 3 months for us to wrap it up and see how that goes. So on our closing note, the King is celebrating his birthday today, talking about Ambassador Victor Oluwafemi Walsh. Some people say now wash. No be me talk harmo. No be me talk harmo. Anyway, we're celebrating him right here, and of course, as a lover of sports, we hear that this platform supports one team, but I don't know the team. That
come on, you can say it. No.
They know they support any. Na Ikorodu.
No.
Na Ikorodu.
We support a team.
Which team?
No, we support a team.
Which team?
If you actually want to know about the team, just follow us on all our social media handles. I will drop it there. I'm going to say that I will drop it there. Just follow us on all our social media handles, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and the rest. Just follow us, and I'll tell you the team. We have a team. Yes, a well-known team. A team to the world.
My name is Tici Barrah. I am the Top Cat. Many thanks to Kelvin for being on the show. I know he had a lot to do. And of course, the man behind the camera, ensuring that everything is coming to you crisp, loud and clear. And everyone who's just ensuring that things go smooth here, we appreciate. The governor, I see you. Kelvin.
Guys, please do not forget that Champions League is this week. I think we actually skip that. Champions League is this week, so the game starts tomorrow. And also, not just the Champions League, the Carling Cup also this week. So now I know why some of the coaches who will be playing some of these other competitions are complaining, because you are playing Champions League.
The timetable is a bit jam-packed.
And the weekend, you fall back to play your league football. So guys, stay with us, and definitely we'll keep you updated on every of the game. I said the Mambo self, Kelvin Ojiefa. I know you want to take over, but
all right. It's been great being with you. Yeah. Thank you so much. All right, until we come your way again, do stay safe and keep following us across board, SOUQ News TV. Have yourself a great day, and bye for now.